Hopefully it is out of court process. It's on strong corporate documentation, strong banking documentation. It resolves all of your borrower obligations, very clearly set out in good documentation. But sometimes there's the necessity to actually embark on a court-driven process. So Shaun referred to it as a Section 366. Let's just call it also, that's a particular provision. It's a scheme of arrangement. It's a scheme of arrangement that allows us to get a court order through 3 phases. Let's get a court order so that I have permission from the court to hold a creditors meeting. Because at the second stage, at the creditors meeting, I'm looking for a 75% in value for all of them to agree. The 75% in value, of course, is, and it may have been covered in the earlier show, that's a very useful, magical mark to meet so that I don't have to achieve that almost sometimes impossible task of getting every single one of my creditors to sign up based on either documentation, formal or informal. So I clear the second phase, hopefully. And eventually I get the court order for sanction. So it's the court, not rubber stamping, but the court will sanction the scheme, the proposal.
You have a good plan in place that is, grounded in facts and accepted restructuring principles. There's very little room to renegotiate from them because if the borrower can't pay $100, he can't pay $100, right? And if the asset values are only going to be realized at a certain level, that's you can't really push it from there. So again, being able to have your proposal grounded in facts and restructuring principles really goes a long way. And having clear guidelines of how to manage these situations, in which case, CDRC provides an excellent forum for such code of conducts, what to do in such situations. So, clear processes that everyone's familiar with really goes a long way.
Leadership. Somebody's got to be leading this. If there's no leadership, I think that's really the long and the short of the 24 months and the 12 months and everything about that. There needs to be a principal there with a cane and making it happen. Not letting these egos run wild. All the usual stuff about, project management still comes in. What are the issues? You're clearing them one by one. Somebody's keeping a schedule of where we are, how many have been cleared, how many are critical, how many are deal breakers, how many I can give, right? And that, coming back to consensus, and compromise. Restructuring is about compromise. If you forget that at the execution phase, you're going to have the same problem you had at the negotiation phase.
Putting it again in simple layman's terms, it's essentially a mode of restructuring or a principle that allow management to be in control. If the management is in control, the businessmen are still in control. They understand the business, they know the customers, they have the faith, or they still have the confidence of major creditors. They should be the ones leading, of course, the restructuring. They're still in control of the management, but of course they need help. They need help with advisors such as Shih. They're going to need help from legal counsel. But in essence, don't dislodge management. And there are a lot of practical advantages that will then flow from that. For example, if they understand the business, they are able to now try to secure new contracts. Are they able to secure white knight investor? Is the owner, founder prepared to inject in, pump in more capital? So that's in essence advantages and the thought process behind a debtor and possession-driven restructuring. And again, if we transport that simple term of allow the management to remain in control, they just need a shot in the arm, they need advisors, they may need court assistance. We see that then start to pollinate all across globally. Chapter 11 in US is a debtor and possession-driven restructuring. With again, you have these other components. Do you assist with rescue financing? Do you have a bit of court-driven process? Do you have the advisors? In Malaysian terms, it's a scheme of arrangement. The scheme of arrangement yet again is, management drives it, but you do need different players and other stakeholders to play their parts. The court is going to come and assist in different ways. But in essence, that's the nub of a debtor and possession-driven restructuring with the advantages that will follow. You're a trained liquidator, you're a licensed liquidator, yet you're going to be increasingly playing this court-appointed role to govern so many elements of now important restructuring mechanisms. So I think what the question Ravi is saying is that, is the skill set too narrow? I think if I were to a bit more nice. You're trained as a liquidator, but yet your skill set is required for more and more complex restructurings within the capital market scene. And unfortunately, that's a legal framework that is already going. So even right now, yes, I think has some limitations, but I think we have to be prepared that there's going to be increasing a need for a court-appointed expert, or as a liquidated expert. Now he'll be playing an important role to assist creditors, judging, making sure it's fair and for comparison.